whatever. But you can see all sorts of stuff, like the strings tied to their shirt. One of the strings is pulling up on the back of their shirt slightly. That stuff is hard to unsee. But I'm in the boat that it's a combination. They are attempting interdimensional travel, possibly succeeding, but they're just lying to us about the nature.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody on the ISS. Not anybody from like the people when they go, oh, look at me, I'm on the ISS. They're really not zooming around the Earth like you zoom in on that thing that you could see. They're not on that thing.
Okay, have y'all heard about like the ancient thing where these okay, so people like have ancient drawings of it or something. Like people drew the ISS, like if you look at some of the Egyptian drawings, they have like spaceships, spacecrafts, like something that was just like the ISS. And some people think like these ancient societies and the technology from the fallen angels had something to do with it. Dude, okay, so this actually reminded me of that the other day. We were talking about the UFO stuff, and this is all like anti-gravity type stuff too. These like these spheres. Have you ever heard about the spheres?
Yeah.
Dude, I have them in my pictures. Like I was in New Mexico for my brother's wedding. And I was on the balcony. I can't remember what, like we were in Yucatan. And Yucatan Peninsula. All right, and in my pictures, he was taking pictures of me on the balcony in front of the beach, and it was like a rapid shot on our camera, and you can see this like it almost looked like green, like a light hue of green, and it was a sphere, and it was flying, and it flew. You could see it coming, flying towards us, and then as it flew behind us, you could see the shadow on the ground of a circle. Like I still have these pictures. I would have to dig them up, but it was an object, and that thing had to be flying 100 miles per hour. I don't know, dude. It must have been super quick. Sometimes you only get one or two of these. And then there's these like weird creature looking thing. Dude, I've got some, because I've went into nature, went and traveled to these like regions. And whenever you do these pictures, dude, sometimes you'll look and you'll see something flying through, and it's like not a bug. Like that thing was a sphere. Like I can try to find it and show you guys, but it was something metallic, something like object. But obviously they have an ability through their technology to have anti-gravity here on Earth and to move it really quick. And I think it's just fallen angel technology. Go watch End Times Productions.
Yep. I've seen what I need to see as well on that. There's a Utah film company that was shooting landscape footage for movies. And this footage is hard as hell to find. I've tried to find it. But he's using a high quality 4K camera to record this large landscape. I think it's in like Utah. It might be Wyoming, but it was like a very, like wide open with like mountain range, hills in the background. And in his footage, you can see this object peel out between a valley and the mountains in the distance and beeline straight over the top of the camera. And it all happens so fast that the speed of this object is, exponentially above the threshold of what we consider as, aviation possible. Like it's talking about like Mach 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 type range. And the reason this was even caught was because of the quality of the camera. So like that's something that's really huge about this stuff is like most cameras shooting in 24 frames have a very low chance of catching some of these objects, which is just nutty. And then considering if they're really high up and they're using some of this electromagnetic field shrouding technology, light doesn't even interact with it. That's why it doesn't have the same inertial restrictions. So they're seeing like these vapor fronts right? Like if a high speed object comes into the atmosphere, even if light is not interacting, it's still creating a frontal boundary with the atmosphere. And they've got hundreds of these vapor trails, little vapor fronts that are being created in our upper level atmosphere from these objects entering. So I've seen enough to know that there is definitely something out there. Just unsure who's making it.
Yeah, you ever see Secret Space Volume 2, I think it's called? Where like the guy's like theorizing that like like when you look under a microscope and you see like amoebas and or like, all kinds of like crittery crawlers and shit. Like imagine
Mhm.
if there's like macro versions of them in space.
Yeah, that's literally what it looks like. Like they're just
Yeah.
all these different bodies flying around different directions.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably all bullshit, but it is like, dude, Secret Space Volume 2. Totally bug you out.
I think that's
Talks
part of the Zohar series. I think I've seen all that.
I don't
Okay, I
even
found the
know.
video.
I think.
Yeah. It's funny. Secret Space Volume 2. I could never find it again. I haven't found it in years. It's like been rabbit holed.
I cropped me
Yeah.
out of it because these were some pictures taken by my husband for my husband on a balcony. And this was like 3 years ago, so I wouldn't like I was on my way. All
For
right,
some reason,
so let's see.
oh, sorry.
Post them. You can see the orb. You can see the orb, and then you can see the shadow of the orb as it passes by. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna post it.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yo, Riggs, good find. Wherever the fuck. Uh, what do you call it? Secrets. Did he just post that, or did he hear what I? He's not even in here. Or maybe he's in the
He's listening for
YouTube.
sure.
Okay, okay. What do you call it? Oh, that's cool.
Bro, me and Riggs and a few other people were going light speed for like 5 hours straight, like early this morning. So I'm not surprised. I crashed out pretty early too. Woke back up.
Nice. Yeah, I wonder if that's the one that's got like. I think it might be. I'm like playing it in the background somehow. Yeah, I think this is the one, dude. It talks about it gets into how like there was like possibly like an alien bloodline in like Arabia and like Iraq, and that's actually what the war was about. Was going to like finish off this alien bloodline that was like in the uh like Arabian people's blood, and like they had all
I
these
keep selecting
figurines.
the video, then it just goes away when I try to add it. I don't know. Like, okay, show selected, then it's gone.
I feel like I've gone so deep on every rabbit hole with the whole with because I just got so obsessed with deep diving the internet. I've looked in places like foreign country documentaries, everything, trying to transcribe. I've gone so deep.
Dude, go deep into the biblical archaeology that's been hidden.
Yeah, I've been doing that as well. Like that's kind of why
Yeah.
I'm so tuned into Alberino and guy
Dude, go
Billy
look at some of
Crone.
Ron Wyatt's stuff.
Say again?
Go look at Ron Wyatt, his stuff.
I have, dude. It's incredible. The
So you know about Noah's Ark, and you know about Mount Sinai, and
the chariot wheels
crossing.
and
Dude, have you heard his
figured out what the Earth
testimony?
is made of?
I don't think it's a made of thing. We haven't discovered a material that we could say it's made of. It's a resonance.
Dude, why?
Oh no, the Earth is definitely made out of things.
1 second.
You should list all the ingredients.
Oh, there's only one. It's dead bodies.
Oh, clutch. That was an unexpected good answer.
What about dead plants and dead trees and stuff?
Those are
Yeah, maybe, but mainly just dead bodies.
That's dark, bro.
Like my friend telling me I'm eating chicken babies when I'm eating eggs. He's like, bro, can't wait to eat some chicken babies. I'm like, what the?
Oh, eggs. Yeah, eggs are great.
Yeah,
Which came first?
chicken or the egg?
Good question.
Well, I can actually prove that we live on top of dead bodies.
I think
Okay.
I agree with that.
Let's hear it.
Oh, well, hold on. I got to show you.
This TOS.
So basically, massive, colossal beings died in early Earth.
Well, the thing is things don't just die. So
I'm just throwing a wrench in on some of the stuff I've heard about. Like, what is it? Crap. What's the winged? The winged god. So a lot of people try to show the wings and the structure of its body on the North American
Finally.
crustal boundary.
Okay.
oh, you mean Quetzalcoatl?
Finally.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, so actually if you join my stream, I'll show you pretty it's undeniable evidence. I mean, people can deny it all day and come up with excuses, but I mean, it's pretty hard to deny what we're looking at.
What?
The dead bodies we live on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I follow the
so
Telegram.
There's a mountain in Garden of the Gods. There was a mountain called Sleeping Giant, and it literally looked like a giant.
yeah,
Like
because it probably
a
was,
whole body.
or
Like,
it
it would
probably
be a
is.
whole
I should
body.
say, yeah,
Dude.
it probably is.
In Arizona, they literally acknowledge the mountains as like giants. Like it's like nonchalant. Like, yeah, those are just petrified giants. Like, yeah, what about them? I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't. Whenever I went down there to interview them, like I went there to interview the Native Americans about their culture, their legends, their historical stories about in America, the giants being there. And I have so much footage, dude. Like, it's like 16 hours of footage. Like, I do not have the time to go through that. I am very sorry. I can one day, potentially, but it is so much footage. But just trust me on this one, okay? So I interviewed many people down there, including Native Americans themselves. This woman who had dinosaurs found on her land, had a giant found on her land. Who she said the head of the giant was as big as our body. The government came and took over the whole thing, and it was just gone. Have y'all ever seen South Park and like he was like putting your money in a savings account? It's like and it's gone. That's just what happened. It was just gone. Like they came, took over the operation. And she said they came back and showed her pictures at least, but didn't give her any. Anyway, so yeah, people with the legends of giants on their lands. The mountains are giants. Those huge tree stumps they call buttes, Buttees. Look them up. They're all over Arizona, and that whole region. Like Monument Valley. You can look up in there. They're absolutely huge. They are huge. I have pictures of them I took. Like look up Tower Butte. TOWERBUTTE. It's in America. They know that those are tree stumps. They know that the mountains are giants. They know that giants roamed with humans. They have legends and drawings of it. Like it's there.
Yeah. Okay. So back to what I'm showing here. Whoever's watching.
I'm watching.
So you see over here, I got a squid, right? And then you got the squid anatomy. Now,
Mhm.
does anyone know what's special about squid and their blood?
It's blue
Yeah, but why?
because they have a different form of heme.
Yeah, so it
Oh.
actually contains copper. So here, I've already
Yeah.
looked it up. It says squid blood is blue due to the presence of a copper-containing protein called hemocyanin or something like that. Okay. So here we go. We see the squid. We got the anatomy. We got the eyes. We got the internal organs. So over here we got Google Earth. Now I'm zooming in here. Now this is supposed to be like they call it the Eye of the Sahara. They say it's like it was Atlantis or something. I don't know anything about that. What I do know is it is an actual eye, and it's an eye of a squid. So as you see over there where it says eye, then you have the little siphon. Now, if we move down here, you're going to see right there is a little circle. That's about the same distance, right? It's about where it would be. Now, remember, not all squid are exactly the same, so anatomy is slightly different depending on the type and, of course, size.
Good
What was
point.
that?
I was just cheering you on. That's a good point. That's so true.
Okay, so now if we zoom out, okay, we're going to see there's actually the whole body or it's the whole body pretty much minus the tentacles. The tentacles have been essentially ripped off because remember, things don't just die, things are killed. So not where I have the place markers, but in this area. So we have the eye, which is here where this first place marker is. And then we have a bunch of black spots down here. Now, here we have the eye, and then probably right about here. And then about here, you'd have about the heart. So these are about the same distance, right, on Google Maps. I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor. I'm making it big, right between here and here and here and here. Now, when we zoom in here, we find an actual mine. Now, can you guess what kind of mine it is?
Copper.
Gold. They have a lot of gold
There we
mines down
go.
there.
It is the
No, it's
MCM
gold.
Mauritian copper mines.
Yay! I was right.
Hey,
So-
so that that area, I guess there was an old Muslim king, Masu Masa or whatever. I guess he was the richest man ever to live. He was richer than like all the billionaires. I guess he was the only trillionaire in history or whatever. Have you heard of him?
No.
No.
Yeah, look him up. But if you go on Google Earth, if you look, I guess the country's called Mali, I think. But if you can't travel into that country, they got it all blocked off.
Molly?
It's like, yeah, it's fenced off. If you go into Google Earth and you look at the like the coastline of that area where he's showing you with the Eye of the Sahara, if you look closely, you'll see like a fence line, and there's nothing there. Like they won't permit you into that country. But it's like a huge, gigantic, like thousands of miles of that they won't let you in that area.
Yeah, there's still active slave trading going on there, actually.
Weren't you just talking about the squid? So you're saying if you had a big enough squid, it would leave like veins of copper? Because I don't know what I was watching. It was about like gold. You know, how gold is also in veins, silver veins. Everything's in these veins.
So
So
what's the third? What's the
kinda
third layer of
interesting.
this? Or is that it?
What third
No,
layer?
just veins. Gold veins
So
could be. big
So you found a
giant
copper
freaking
mine
blood.
inside of what
Yeah.
looks like a squid eye, and what's the conclusion? Squids are
No. The copper mine is where the heart would be on this being. So what we're looking at, yeah. So going back to the eye, I've just measured the eye. It's about 38 kilometers across, right? Probably about 40 kilometers. So just imagine that, right? You see a 40-kilometer eye. I mean, that's inconceivable, right? So the mine, like I was demonstrating here. Let me turn all this stuff off. So what I was saying is the distance or the ratio, whatever you want to call it, between the eye and where the organs are is the same as we see over here, where the eye and the organs would be on the squid itself. They proportionately line up. Now, when we zoom in here, since squid have copper in their blood, this is probably the heart. So there is a copper mine at the same distance or proportionate distance, whatever you want to call it, from the eye in reality, in real life, in the Sahara Desert. So there is literally squid anatomy in the Sahara Desert.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
can you? Yeah, that's.
Thank you for
Can
sharing.
you zoom into the coastline and see that to see if there's actually? Yeah, right there.
That's the tentacles
Zoom.
right there.
No, these aren't the tentacles. So this would be the mantle. So it lines up the same. So we have the eye here, the heart, copper mine here. So the mantle would be all right here, but the mantle has actually been removed. The mantle has been
Wow.
put over here.
Huh.
So, and let me see.
Well, there's two squids.
No, there's only one squid.
There's two.
No, there's one.
We
There's
talk
a
about
squid.
33 squids. How the hell would you know how many squids there are? But it's definitely badass. If it's real.
That's the
If
craziest
you met
thing.
something
The
that big,
eyeball.
like that's a big creature. But what's eating that though? What's
Well,
the shark that's eating that squid?
so the squid is actually its lower body is attached to the giant fish that's right above it. So I don't know if you can see my mouse when I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
make it big. Can you see my mouse now? Can you see my mouse
Yeah,
now?
I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the fish is here. Okay. Now, if you've ever, let's see.
Have you ever thought like where the ink sacs might be on that thing? Is it by the copper?
Well, that's the thing. So the copper mine, if you'll notice, it's black, which indicates that there's black ink in the copper mine. I'll go back and show you. So here we have a tiger barb. You can see now this is the correct direction that the fish on Earth is facing. So you can see right here is a little spot. That would be where I guess his tail or his ass would be. His head would be here. The squid's body is actually attached right here. And if we go in, we can see here's the fish eye right here. Right there. And actually you see these claw marks, right? Now, when squid attack their prey, they claw at the eyes so that their victim can't see what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
well,
their
they have the
beak.
whips.
Like with
You
their
have the
beak.
whips. You got the two whips that are gnarlier than the tentacles.
Yeah.
Like the two
They
long
have
things
a
that
beak.
can like. Well, yeah, they got a beak that can literally. They say, well,
They
they say
do.
that the ones today can actually the big ones could like cut through like a 3/4 inch like cable. That's what they say. But can you imagine what that one could do? That's like a dude. That's
Yeah,
like
his beak is right
snipping
here.
through the snipping
It's like
through a
a
steel
freaking
girth.
knife.
So there's his eye and there's his beak. His beak is still attached right there.
Like a
You can
What
friggin'
see his
knife,
big
dude.
the
bottom jaw and the top
Wow.
part. Now back to the fish, the giant fish. So again, this is the squid's lower half. So the light part is the fish. The dark part right here is the squid's lower body. Now we're talking about that extra tentacle. It's going up here on top of the fish. Now, if we zoom in here, we're actually going to see these little suction cups.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
You see, and if you go and look at an actual image of the suction cups, you'll see they're all uneven. None of them are the same. Okay, so
Can
now
So they're not like
zoom up a
they're
little?
not perfect like an octopus leg, is what you're saying.
Oh, no.
right
That looks like a turtle right above that.
where up here
Yeah, like up more. Zoom in.
here.
Yeah,
You
right,
saw him
right
on
up
lunch
there.
break where he did
Or like a
he did
clam. Or is that a clam? A little bit
he
further,
did the
right
dragon
there.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
No?
there's some weird stuff here. Okay, because so I had the ability to like see things that I guess most people wouldn't be able to see. It's kind of like an investigatory eye, I guess you can call it. So we have this dead squid here, and then he's attached to this dead fish. Now the squid, right, killed the fish, but what killed the squid,
A
right?
flood.
Well, no, I
That's
think
how it
that
gets
was
fossilized.
that you're right. That's how it gets fossilized, but that's not what killed these things. Remember, because things don't just die. And yes, there was a flood,
A mud
but
flood.
I'm pretty sure things were killed before the flood occurred. So
Mm.
we
Dude, if you
have
tell me there was a man that threw a big spear and killed the squid, I'm gonna freaking flip freak.
no look this
Hey,
it's
Nazi.
even what?
Yo, Nazi. Hey,
Yeah.
go onto your Google real quick, open a new tab and type in KUNLUN mountains. Just do it real quick. And then go to images and show everybody that real quick. I hate to
What?
Where
interrupt
is
what
that
you're showing
squid?
because it's awesome. But just check it out because everybody's probably trying to clown on you right now, but I believe you. But
Nobody's
just do it.
clowning.
Oh yeah,
Who's
I don't really
clowning?
care if people are trying to clown on me.
Yeah,
Where are you at right
they
now?
Anyway,
are. Who are you talking
On
about?
Google
No,
Earth,
just
what
show it. Just show
region?
it real quick, dude. Just type in
okay, yeah, I'm
Kulu
just gonna
Mountains.
we'll get to that later. So I'm gonna stick to what we're doing. So we're in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, northern Africa. This is the Sahara Desert. Okay. So
Oh.
back to what I was saying. So the squid, right, has been separated from his body after he was attached to this fish. Now, the weird thing is this up here. Okay, we have this white line with like this white stuff. Okay. And
Nobody
it
lives
kind
there.
of like what? Oh, somebody live. People
Desert.
live. Yeah, people live here. What are you talking about? Look at this.
Hey, have you seen the old maps, like the 1500 maps where they show like the
Yeah.
Ring of Fire and all that? There's a bunch of
No.
towns up in there, and now there's not.
Mhm.
Okay, so back to this. So we have these. It's like this white and this long straight line. Okay. Now up here we also have something else. There's another spot with some of this white stuff, and then
Tell me a
I
tusk or something or a tooth.
I guess you could call all this like some kind of like runoff or something, but it looks kind of like veins maybe a little bit. But the weird thing is that it has a line. Okay, so it goes from here, it starts and it follows. You see, there's white all along the black, right? The white goes all the way up here, all the way here, almost like some kind of electricity has been pushed through this. And you can see the white goes all the way down here. Okay. Now there's a guy, his name is Roger at Mud Fossil University. He says that this is a dragon.
Yeah, I've heard this one.
Now I can kind of see what he's talking about, but I think that there's parts of the dragon that are missing, because I think what happened is, so this event occurred. Okay, this squid and this fish right here somehow ended up, I guess you can say, on land. Okay, and it was used as bait. Now, as it was sitting there, I don't know what size the individuals were, but they essentially set up a trap. So they somehow, this white stuff, they trailed it from here all the way to here, and when this large creature dragon thing came along and took a bite of the squid leg here, they electrocuted it and he exploded. So his head, I'm not sure where his head went. I think this is his eye right
Those
there,
are his gills, bro.
or the remnants of it. It could be, but I'm pretty sure the majority of his head is gone. Not only that, here, where the electricity ends, it almost looks like there's a rippage. I think these right here are his little fins, and then there's like some kind of explosion going here. And then Roger also points out some kind of weird, like, straight line. I guess he's saying that that's where the cut is, but I think that's actually where the electricity just kind of went through the body of the thing. Now, this is even weirder. Okay, so now this could be chalked up as, I don't know, whatever you want to chalk it up to, right? All this weird stuff, but
Runoff, erosion.
yeah, you could say that, right? But there's a second incident. Okay, so after this thing, right, came along and bit it and was exploded. Okay, there was another one, a larger one, right here. Now, hold on, so I didn't mean to rotate. Now, this is where his eye, or its eye, would be. Its mouth is this black line right along here. And I think that there's some of the body right in here. Now, the reason I say there were two events is because here we also have more of that white stuff. More of the white stuff, and then we have what looks like an electrical pattern, or electricity has been run through something. And you can see it runs all the way up through here, look. And you can see it's like almost like catching fire as well.
Hey, have you seen those guys that they'll take electricity and burn a piece of wood, and then they'll throw like a layer of like finish over it? Like have you seen that?
No. But does it do something
Google,
like this?
Yeah, it makes these types of patterns. It makes the fractal dendrite pattern.
Yeah, that's what
it looks just like a lightning bolt, kind of like certain lightning patterns when you see them strike. It looks almost identical to that, or like it's just crazy how the birds go through the wood. Beautiful.
Hey, Nazi, just Google Kunlun Mountains, bro, and show everybody that. Once you do that, it'll like even the trolls that are in here, they'll know. But you gotta go to images, KUNLUN mountains, and then go to images.
Has somebody been saying not seeking? I haven't heard anybody in here.
Man, no, that ain't it, dude. KUNLUN.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. So if you want to present it, though, you can certainly go ahead and do that. Because I'm not going to spend the time to try to figure it out and then try to show everyone else. So I'm just going to show what I've already found. That's just much simpler than that. Like I said, if you want to do it, go ahead.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, so again, right, we have this right? This electricity, this like event. And of course, it goes up. You can see, it looks to me like there's a piece of the body, this gray matter, and it's in the mouth of this larger creature. So it looks like someone set a trap with a squid and a fish and then killed 2 dragon-like creatures. Now, there's a lot more. So here we go. This is also still in Africa. I think this is Libya, I think. So here we actually have, I'll just go straight to the foot. So I'm going to measure it from the heel to the middle toe. So we're starting at the heel all the way to the middle toe. So we got 951 meters. If it's difficult to see, I'll zoom in. I'm going to show you. We got the big toe. We got another little toe right here. There's a little toe right here. You can see there's little nails on the tips. All right. You can see the wrinkled skin of a baby's foot. You can see there's the heel right there. Now this is an unborn baby. The eye probably would have been right about there, and these things right here are actually wings. So if you've ever seen a baby come out of a shell too early, they got these little feather-like stuff growing in. So you can see there. You can see it there. Now, the body in its entirety is about 4,000 meters across. Now, that is probably the umbilical cord right there. Because as you know, if you know anything about umbilical cords, they actually have 2 main veins. And here we can see that there's like basically 2 holes in the middle of a larger one. And this black
just
stuff
like
is
a
probably
chicken.
the sac. Just like
Chicken
what?
egg. Like a chicken egg.
Yeah, like a chicken egg.
Dude, that
Now,
looks like a lamb's head. That was cool. Zoom in one more time. Looks like a lamb's head. That's crazy.
well, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Cool.
some kind of female internal bodily parts.
Looks like a friggin' vagina.
I mean, there's plenty of those too. That actually a lot of those are caves, I think, and actually I think a lot of them they're actually properly named. I think there's actually one I saw, it was called the Birth Canal Cave.
Well,
It's like
think
they're not
about
even
how
hiding
big
it.
these things are and how ridiculous it would be to have them live on a ball, 3959 radius. And like it'd be so tiny. It'd be like like what, 4 or 5 steps, and then you're like across the whole thing that you live on. Like
Oh, well,
doesn't make any sense.
It's even worse than that though, because so South America itself is a wing. Like the whole entirety of South America is a wing. Here, this is where the shoulder would be. We run along the top. See, it's interesting. The mountains are only along the western coast of South America, which is exactly where the arm bone would run along, I guess, the wing. Right here we have like I guess it's like a hook or like a whatever you want to call it would be right there. There's like some kind of like weird little fingers kind of like down here. And then all of this is just flat land in South America. There's no mountains or anything in the rest of it. That's where the drape of the wing is. So how does that work on a ball? And I'm pretty sure the head of the thing is right here. Here, we'll turn it to where he's looking up. The eye would be right there. The other eye would be right about there. It's
Not to poke
actually probably right there, actually, because it looks like, actually, now that I look like it, this side of the face was crushed.
Mm. Continue.
Okay, you were gonna poke holes.
I mean, you're showing a ball, bro. I don't know.
I mean, look, I'm using what we're given, right? Do you actually believe that that is where we live? Like, look at that. You think that's real?
Well,
I just
it's a
showed you some
depiction of what's
impossible
real.
things. I mean, I just showed you some impossible things. If we lived on this thing, and you're still going to say, "Oh yeah, we live on that thing."
I mean, squid looks like land features, therefore flat Earth. That's what you showed me, right?
They're what?
Squid looks like land features, therefore flat Earth. That's what I concluded.
For flat Earth. No, I was just showing
Therefore.
you that. No, I was
Yeah.
just showing you that we live on top of dead bodies, right? So, and the size of these dead bodies, if we lived on a ball like this with the radius that we're given, how is that even possible, right? A squid with a 40-kilometer eye lives on a ball with a 40,000-kilometer radius, right? And then there's a fish, right, that's even larger than that. Let's go back and measure the fish. Let's see. How large this fish is, right? Living on a ball. We'll just go. Let's see. From right about here, we'll just say the tail's right about there. So about 1,200 kilometers? A 1,200 kilometer fish lives on a ball with a 40-kilometer radius. I mean, he doesn't have very much swimming room at all. Would you agree?
Well, I mean, the premise, I don't quite understand comparing like the actual squid to land features that sort of lay out the same. If I'm being honest when I say this, that's where you kind of lose me. And
Okay,
it might just be
what you're
because I'm not
saying,
well studied on it. Yeah.
well, so what you're saying is that it's totally conceivable that there are land features that completely mimic the anatomy of a squid, but it's all just a coincidence, right?
Well,
Because that's a really
without
big leap. That's a huge fucking leap. I mean, you got to be like on some kind of like insanity-inducing drugs to think that.
okay, I'll agree with you for the sake of argument.
Because that's great, right? That's crazy.
Yeah. What would that look like on a flat Earth, do you think?
What would what look like on a flat Earth?
The squid that you're showing.
Oh well, see, I don't know because I'm not. I don't claim a shape to the Earth. I know that we live on top of dead bodies and that we live in a container within the water.
Oh, so
Now-
okay. So you're pointing out that the Google Earth is incorrect because it shows dead bodies.
No, I'm pointing out that we live on top of dead bodies, but as a whole, Google Earth can't be correct because of the size of the bodies.
Okay, so like if they were correct, they'd be much smaller.
If what was correct, Google Earth.
Right, yeah, if you said they're too big to be real. So if they were a lot smaller, it'd be more realistic.
No. They're too big for Google Earth to be real.
You think people use Google Earth every day and arrive where they're expecting to arrive based on the coordinates?
No, they don't. People typically just buy a plane ticket or they use their phone or a map on their phone, but they're not using Google Earth to get where they're going.
That's fair. That's fair.
Do you think your questions are implying something? What do you all want us to get from these questions?
Are you addressing me?
Yes, sir.
I am trying to draw the comparison. I guess I'm trying to draw where land features that may be coincidental. And I was playing along for the sake of argument to try and understand exactly what that means in terms of flat Earth versus globe Earth based on the size I think you mentioned, and why wouldn't the size comport with a globe Earth model? I guess if the squid's going to be present on both of them, why is the globe Earth model version of the squid on the land features incompatible, whereas the flat Earth model isn't?
So again, it's because the creature is too large for the globe. It's impossible.
When you say that, like I understand what you're saying, but like what are you referencing when you say it's too large compared to what?
The globe. So what I'm saying is the size of the fish doesn't comport with the size of the environment it's in. There's no possible way for that creature to get that big if it's in a limited space, because everyone knows this about fish. If you put it in a small container, it stays small. But if you put it in a bigger container, it gets bigger.
Were you saying that they just drew the maps with the squid in the wrong places?
What?
Well, why would they draw a squid into the surface of the?
No one's drawing a squid. Now, are you saying that Google Earth is drawn?
Well, no, I'm just curious what you like. How did that squid get there?
Did you miss all that when I told you that it was killed?
So you actually think it was literally killed and put there, or that's just a false story? I'm sorry.
A
Really
false story. So basically what I did was I showed you the squid, and then I showed you what it was attached to, and then I showed you what it was used as, and then basically I showed you how it all died.
Okay, no, I follow you that makes sense to me. But the part I don't understand is you're saying that this isn't accurate, so that means that there's not actually a squid there.
What? No, I said that the globe can't be correct if
That's
there's
not
a
a real
squid
picture
there.
of the globe. That picture right there is not a real picture of the globe. They didn't
Okay, so then
make
it's
the
not a real
globe part.
picture. So
Listen,
then it's
stop.
not.
Stop.
So
Let
then
me
it's not a
finish.
real
Let me
picture of a
finish. Let me
squid.
finish. Okay, so
Well,
at some point, stop. At some point, it gets AI generated. Okay, so right there, that's not like if you zoom out, they didn't really go to space and like, yeah, take all these
it's a
images.
model. We get
They'll
it, Taylor. I
acknowledge
mean,
this.
come on.
Okay,
It's a
so
model.
Yeah,
we have to acknowledge at some point it becomes AI generated. Okay. On the local scale, yeah, they went over with an airplane, but then they put all that and stitched it together on a globe, and they'll acknowledge that.
Oh, I gotcha. So you're saying that
That's what they say. It's
closer
not just me.
the closer the closer photos of the squid are actually taken from a plane, but when you stitch it together, that's when it's inaccurate.
Yeah, they take local. They fly and do local like land stuff. They get images. Like they have Google Earth literally does flights, and they do street views. So sometimes they drive through the streets and take videos, and you can go on Google Street View to look at local stuff. But then they have to put all that together. And they acknowledge this. They AI generate. They take tiny strips of view over the Earth, and then they put all that together on
Okay,
the globe. You
so
understand?
if we flew over in a plane, we would see the outline of this squid as he's showing it.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you keep
Okay.
zooming out, it changes to an AI model of the Earth, and they acknowledge that.
I think you're saying AI, and you might be meaning it, but I would say that it's more of just like a CGI model, right? Like it's built into like it's polygon model or something that they have. It's not necessarily like generated on the fly, but I'm being pedantic, I think.
Now,
Yeah,
there you
no.
go. There's what you would see if you were there flying over it. So you can actually see that it's an actual feature that exists. There's lots of photos of it.
Okay, so you actually think there is a squid there. It's just that when we zoom out, that's an unrealistic picture of the Earth.
You're mixing
Yeah,
the
when you go
vulture
all the way out
and
like
land.
this.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is not right. Yeah, see, and this is actually how I realized that we don't live on this. I was standing in my living room one day, and this shit came on my little Google Chromecast or whatever. And then in the bottom corner, it said Earth from space. And I said, that's not fucking Earth from space. That's a fucking cartoon. What the fuck is this shit? So I literally went and looked for a photograph of Earth from space, and there are none. It's all some kind of garbage.
Hmm.
And then there's all kinds of excuses as to why we don't have a photograph of Earth. Oh, because it's too far on the technology and blah, 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 blah. Some kind of, vomit, basically.
I did have one quick question. Like, Taylor, it seems like you've done research a lot like Nazi King has done. Do you have anything to add to his presentation? I could tell you were passionate when Wes was speaking up.
No, you just
Can I
cut
go
me
next,
off.
Secretary?
Hey guys, look, I'm
The
sharing
only
a
reason I got
picture right now.
was because he cut me off in the middle of the sentence. I was trying to finish.
Okay.
Hey, check
But
this
you've done
out,
research
guys.
about this sort of thing?
Yeah, I interviewed Native Americans about their stories of the giants, and yeah, they know it's a real thing. Oral
Gotcha.
legends have been passed down in their families, and they have drawings and pictographs of them and everything.
Hey Nazi, do you see what I just shared? That photo? This is what I wanted you to look up on Google Maps. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll go look at it eventually. I'm just not going to do it right now because I got
Wait,
limited time anyways.
are you streaming?
What is that? That's an obvious fucking backbone, dude.
Yeah, I would agree. That's what I'm saying. I'll probably go look at these things at some point, but not right now.
This is like obvious though. I mean, your squid was cool. I loved it, dude. Thanks for sharing. But this is like hands down slam dunk.
Well, sure, but the thing is with the squid I can actually show the anatomy of, right? You can show that and say, oh, it's a backbone or whatever, but there's all kinds of ways to wiggle out of that being an actual backbone with some kind of like geological excuse. What I'm showing,
Pull out
it's
of
very
that.
difficult to show a geological excuse, right, for what I'm showing.
Yeah, I agree. Your presentation
Have
is
you seen
a lot
Have
more
you seen
convincing.
Stellium's work? Have you seen Stellium's work on the anatomy? Obviously not.
What was that, Crizzle? Or I thought it was Crizzle.
No, that was
How
Well,
are you
Sophia.
gonna
it was
wiggle out of
Sophia.
that though?
My mistake.
Like,
Yeah, please stick to the topic.
Quiet.
explain how you're gonna wiggle out of this in some geological thing. Like,
What do you mean?
so what you said you can wiggle out of it, so wiggle out of it.
Well, no, I'm not going to wiggle out of it. What I'm saying is other people who think they live on a ball and the earth, formed over millions of years through some kind of weird process will have an easier time giving a geological excuse for what you presented rather than what I have presented.
I wonder, have you ever like gone around like to other landforms and like I don't know if you could tell if this is a male one or a female one, if we could find if there's like another one like a mate or something like that. Have you ever looked around or have you just started doing this?
Well, there's a guy that does only this on his YouTube channel. He's called Stellium. What is it? Stellium something. He actually lives by a mountain that used to be an elephant. If you go and look at his stuff, what he does is he goes to these places and then he matches the environment with the anatomical features. It's undeniable. It's dead bodies.
Wesley, was there like a how to ask the most annoying question course I missed? If you have a resource on that, I'd love to check it out.
No, he's found one. I was just wondering if there's another one. I would
Well,
think there'd
I'm
be
sure
more than
there
one.
is, but
Okay.
I'm not going around like looking for these
Yeah.
things. It's kind of like I'll every once in a while I'll sit down and I'll look at Google Maps and see if I can see anything, but I'm not really doing a whole lot of investigating.
Okay. You happened upon that one and you found, or did you find that from somebody else or did you find that yourself while looking?
Well, yeah. So I was watching the Mud Fossil University channel, and then he he also pointed out, I don't know if he says this is I know he doesn't say this is a squid. He just says this is the Eye of Atlantis. I see it's a squid. He sees this as a fish, but he sees the fish the other way. But what he sees is the dragon. So he doesn't see the fish really and the squid, but he sees the dragon. So once I saw that, then I just kind of started looking around. I just kind of like the first thing I did was I backed out and I looked at Africa, and it's really funny. The head or this actually looks like a turtle head. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up. Let's do snapping turtle because they got the best.
Tank, what do you think is going on here?
I think there's so many secrets in this area of the world. There's so much. This is like a massive flood scar. This whole area of northern Africa. There's a lot of guys that have actually gone there, and it's very difficult to establish like a line of resources. So you got to be like a badass weathered traveler to be able to get out there. But like Greg Braden, I think, has gone out there. Timothy Alberino has gone out there. And there's just tons of evidence for that this used to be like an ocean floor or like a deep seabed. So to me, this is connecting in a lot of ways, but I'm not at the point where I think these are like dead bodies. I think there's something bigger or something slightly different going on, but I'm in a similar vein. I don't necessarily totally agree with this or disagree with
Now
it.
here we go.
Oh,
Here's
so
a
Jimmy
snapping turtle.
Corsetti. Hold on, dude. So Jimmy Corsetti went on Joe Rogan and talked about that Eye of the Sahara. And then just recently, what's his name? Professor Dave did a whole piece on how Jimmy Corsetti is like a grifter. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Yeah.
For the slow kids up front, can you fill us in on Jimmy Corsetti? Is he a researcher in this field?
Yeah, he's just a YouTube content creator. But he got popular. And I don't know too much about him. I've only seen a few of his videos.
Okay.
But Professor Dave calls him a grifter.
Oh, okay.
Wesley, I'd go check out
Literally,
Timothy
who
Alberino.
cares what
He does some
Professor
like
Dave?
badass on the ground stuff.
Professor Dave is a joke. Why would anybody care?
He's
what
not
he-
even a professor.
Like, why would anybody take him serious or care?
Hey, Tank, what was the last name of that person you mentioned?
Alberino.
Thanks.
Like he actually went to that tribe in Africa with the face peeler claims. Like went there and interviewed the people there, and like he's done some really interesting stuff, trying to debunk some of these really crazy conspiracies. Like what is it? Do you guys Kumupuchu? Is that the name? I'm butchering it. There's the two locations. Yeah, and there's another one. There's a couple of these locations, and he's one of the few
Easy
people
to remember. Titicaca.
Yeah. Well, he's showing how the Smithsonian, all the efforts and the resources that they've put into covering up all of these giant bones. And so like to me, how large these creatures that he's showing us, like this is seriously a reality to consider. Like they covered up any evidence that there would have been of these fallen or the giants referred to in a lot of different stories. And to me, that's like this crazy, like, whoa, the Smithsonian they know about this and they have a budget to hide it. Like,
Well, yeah, the Smithsonian. So the Smithsonian is from the line of Cain. Tubal Cain was the first Smith, the Smith's son. So the Smithsonian is going around basically hiding reality from everyone else. Now, so back to what I was saying. So have you heard the myth or the story that we live on the back of a turtle? Right.
Yep,
So here we go.
all the
We have a
Yeah.
what? Yeah, and man, something all the way down. Yeah. So we got a snapping turtle, right? You see his underjaw, right? It's got that little hook or whatever. Now going back to this, Now it's facing the other direction, but this is the bottom jaw right here. I think this is Iraq. And then we have the top jaw right here. You can see this is the beak. You can see he's got like a kind of an underbite. This is the hinge where his jaw would be. And this is probably his nostril. These two lake things looking things. That's probably his eyes.
Al, you know what the shell is? The shell, you know how the shell can detach? So it detached and it spun around somehow, flipped over, because he's probably like upside down, right? And now it's like the big basin bowl that we all live in.
Well,
it contains all the water.
It's either the underside, or what could make even more sense is it's the top side of our container.
All the water would fall off, but if it was
no. So the water. So I'm not sure what you think. They tell us that space is the thing that's infinite, but it's actually the water that's infinite.
Yeah, but when I look out, I don't see water.
Well, of course not, because there's a void. So when you read Genesis, it tells us that the Elohim fashioned where we live within the waters.
Yeah, he's talking about Earth, bro.
Right, and Earth is a bunch of dead bodies. So if Earth used to be a big turtle and then they destroyed it and then they fashioned where we live, I mean...
I got the whole turtle beak thing, the snapping turtle thing. But I was, trying to connect the shell to it containing the water, but after that you lost me.
Well, so you have to understand that we live within infinite water, okay? So within that infinite water, life came about somehow. No, because no one knows how life comes about. Okay, I used to live next to a creek that could be dry for like almost a year, and then it would rain, and then there'd be little fish in there. Where they come from, who knows? Because it's not connected to any water source. So the origin of life is unknown. But if the water is infinite, it makes sense that we see a bunch of dead water creatures, large ones. And then when they killed the turtle, they just used its body to basically create some kind of void where things could exist inside, where there's no water.
So why don't, when it rains, how come there aren't giant creatures like, let's say where the oceans are now, since it's wet, why aren't there like Earth-sized creatures? Because I get it, dude. I'm on board with this because I don't put any limits on infinity and I don't put any limits on nature either. And if consciousness wants a bigger being, like there's nothing going to stop it. Like I don't think God is going to or whatever, Yahweh, whatever.
It's not about wanting. So the reason these things got so large is because when things grow, they don't stop unless they're restricted. So if the water is infinite and then there's life in it, these things are just going to grow to sizes that are incomprehensible to us. It's actually funny, too, because when they say in the mainstream narrative, the little globe model, when they say that the Earth is millions of years old, they're actually not lying because from our perspective, these creatures would have had to have been alive for millions of years to get to the size that they were.
That actually looks like a turtle head, and then the eye is like, the left eye is over there on the left part, the right eye is on the right part. I see a head. I see the jaw on the bottom.
See, the problem with it, though, is so we're going to get all of Iraq where their water regions are because those are highly mapped out. The problem is the middle of Africa. We don't get the entire imagery of Africa, so we're getting like a distorted view of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you zoom in, it's like Mighty Morphin Mapping Time is what I like to call it, because when you zoom in, shit just starts changing. So
can you scroll up? Like look at the bottom of the jaw, let's say. Like scroll it up. Yeah, a little more. Can you go to the right now a little bit? Like maybe that's its body or like its heart right there, or its lung maybe. And then go to the right a little bit. Yeah,
maybe. I think India might be its flipper, one of its flippers.
Yeah, dude, the fucking flipper, bro.
Yeah, because they're the ones who actually really hold to that story that we live on the back of a turtle, and it would make sense if they're on one of its flippers.
And flip it all the way. Just do a quick flip all the way around and see the other side. Like the direct antipodal to that. It's like flip all the way around and see what's on the other side.
Of the ball.
Would there be another flipper on the other side is what I'm saying.
I don't know. So remember, these things have been killed, so the anatomy might be all over the place. That's the issue. So it's kind of like for example, this to me looks like a head. Okay, we have the nose here, we have like the ear here, here would be the neck. But the thing is when I zoom in here, we have these large veins that are indicative of a heart. So it actually could be. So this could be the heart of the creature. This could be the head because it was killed. They probably ripped the heart out and threw it next to the head. So trying to find like the anatomy of these things, unless the whole body's already there, it's kind of difficult because again they hide a lot of stuff, and it's like what you can't even really tell what exactly you're looking at most of the time.
But yeah, that's what I want to do.
What
Like,
one?
spin it. So there's the right. So there would be the flipper. Now, can you go totally antipodal, like to that view right there? Just keep spinning like about 5 times, but don't change the latitude. Just spin it the other way. Like
You mean like up and down, like this?
no, move your mouse to the right. Yeah,
this.
just keep going. 1, 2, little more, little more, little more, little more, little more. There
So
could be another flipper right there.
Yeah, we come back to it. It's right there. See, there's the original flipper.
Yeah, there's that one, but now spin all the way around.
Yeah, there isn't another. Like I said,
Go the other way, dude. No, go the other way. So there's the flipper, and then it would be in North America.
no, it's not in North America. There's other things in North America.
Right there. There it is, right there, dude. That's the
Where?
other flipper, right there.
I mean, just saying right there, we're looking at a whole landmass.
The Rockies. That would be the other flipper.
Here, this is the Rockies.
There. Now, if you spin it antipodal, you'll see the left flipper. If you
Yeah, but that doesn't really
spin
look like a
it-
flipper to me. I mean, I'm not sure what all this stuff is. I don't know. I mean, there's people say there's all kinds of weird things in here. Because remember, the other thing is these things come in different sizes, so it's hard to get an appropriate zoom level and then look at these things and figure out what's there.
What would be cool if you could take away the water? Can you take away the water?
Maybe I'm not really sure. So here's another creature right here in North America. So Florida is one flipper and Michigan is the other flipper. This is his head. He's looking this way. He has like an alligator head. His eye is here. His mouth is here.
Crocodile.
Yeah, he's it's like a crocodile head. He actually this is Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. You can actually see he has like a mohawk on top of his head.
Yeah.
His body, you can see it. This S.
Or maybe a
kind
boar. Maybe a
what?
boar. A
of
boar.
No, it's like a reptile. So
A razor,
it's got like
razorback. What do they
I
call
doubt
them?
it.
Tusk.
No,
Or zoom in.
it's feathers.
It's a boar. That's a skull. Where you think the feathers are? It's a skull. That's a skull, bro. Look, there's a little eye right there. Watch, go down.
No, it's not
The other
because boars don't have wings. Boars don't have flippers. So where his head is, the alligator, there's the S shape. That's actually the Appalachian Mountains, and they run all the way down basically to New York City. Now, okay, hold on. So I'm just going to measure it. So I'm going to show you. Here's the tip of his mouth right here, and then there is the end of his tail. So we got about 3,000 kilometers. And I'm saying he because he is a he. Now here is his penis. This is New York City. And New York City is actually constructed where his essentially ball sack would be. So Long Island is the penis. And I think that's actually where all the elites hang out as well.
Yeah, but don't crocodiles have an inner penis?
Well, this isn't a crocodile because it has flippers. It has wings. So this is some kind of different creature.
But you know how boars have a corkscrew wieners?
Boars don't have scales. This thing has scales. Show him the scales.
Show me the scales.
Well, I mean, even on his penis right here, you can see there's little hinges. So if you know anything about like turtle scales, reptile scales, right? It's solid, and then there's a bend so that it can flex, so that it can move. So, and on his flippers as well, you can see we have these. It's like a kink in the armor, essentially.
Well, if you know anything about like some mammal penises, they have like barbs that when they enter the vag, It's like when the barbs say they're I don't know what that term is called, but when you put something
It's swell up. That's true. Until it affects.
that, dude, haven't you noticed how
All right, so here you go. Here's a broken bone.
you're not interested in catering? What is that?
Well, yeah, people are wanting me to do what they want, while I'm doing what I want. So I don't cater.